first time I saw Joyce Bryant was at the Apollo Theater. And it was the first and last time I saw her perform. And even though Gregory and I, at that time we were called the Hines kids, and we worked the Apollo a lot, my parents always wanted us to see the great stars there. And she was hot as fire. You get in the business and all of a sudden you become hot. And she was that at that point. And I remember sitting in the audience, and I remember the beginning, it was like congas, she had congas, like that. And the curtain opened, of course she was the star of the show, and she was behind a scrim. And there was sort of like a blue light on her. And she was in this crouched position. And the band was behind her. I think George Rhodes, who later became Sammy Davis Jr.'s conductor, was conducting for her, I think. And as she began to sing, the scrim rose, and she appeared, and she had this silver dress on. And her skin, she didn't look like a real person to me, I remember. She looked like surreal. This fabulous-looking creature that was singing so fantastic. She sang "Running Wild." When I see her again in Los Angeles, I'm going to ask her if that was the song, because I remember "Running Wild" for some reason. And the band was cooking, and she was singing, and this voice was so fabulous, and I was just overwhelmed. I think she also did "Love for Sale," wonderful songs. But the performance, I don't remember the songs as much as I remember the performance and the effect that it had on me. I forget, I was very young. I forget how old I was. But we were seeing everybody, and even though we were working there, we'd see Dinah Washington, we'd see Sammy Davis, and but she really stayed in my mind, and I told everybody about her, all my fellow performers. I would always talk about Joyce Bryant and what that was. Because she was very different. She was sort of, because Alina, of course, was spectacular, beautiful, but sort of removed, which she later admitted in her book. Eartha, challenging. Joyce was inviting. There was something inviting about her. You know, you wanted to get to know her, and yet you realized that she was this great artist, and that you couldn't possibly. It was sort of like that, but she was more inviting, and each of them were originals. All of these ladies were originals, and that's what set them apart, and that's why they last long. They last forever because they're not clones the way they do today. But she was remarkable to me because I remember the sound of her voice. It was so inviting and so remarkable. You know, she had this high voice, this range that was fabulous. It's fabulous, you know. So that was really the first time, and it made an impact on me as a performer, because she was a performer too, as opposed to just standing there singing. I mean, she walked the stage, she worked the stage. She reached out. She said she used to do these movements. She'd reach out like that, just, you know, and then you want to reach back. So, Joyce, you're fabulous. Oh.